We now have a few minutes for questions.
What has the government said about your request for a $100 increase to social assistance right away? Are they saying this is something we'll think about, saying anything?
Well, when I met with the minister last February, she was saying that basically the money isn't there, and then, like I mentioned, that there was no public support, and they're waiting for the results of the social assistance review. Well, the social assistance review covers policies, but not the rates of social assistance. And it's a big problem for people living on social assistance. It's a constant struggle. And like we could look around the room, and I don't understand how they're saying there's no public support, and there's everybody sitting here saying that there is a need, an immediate increase.
What you do when you need to build public support, you don't wait for it to happen. You build it by creating information and knowledge. And when you create information and knowledge, there is support.
Are you feeling let down by the poverty strategy?
The federal poverty strategy, yes. Provincially, I'm encouraged that it's at least there, but there's always more to do.
Words on a piece of paper are important, not as important as action. One statistic I forgot to mention, there are 110 McDonald's outlets in the city of Toronto. There are actually 170 community-based agencies that rely on food from the Daily Bread Food Bank, and they run over 200 food relief programs. There are more food relief programs in the city than there are McDonald's outlets. That is a shame.
How do you make the food baskets better too? I mean, somebody mentioned carbohydrates and how many there are. I mean, is there any way to improve them to make them more nutritious?
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
The issue really isn't the food banks. Food banks rely on donations to be able to provide food. The issue is the money that the people don't have to be able to purchase their own food. We really, I mean, we talk a lot here about food banks, but we are hobbled, I guess, by what we get donated, and because they do have to be canned, non-perishable items. So there's only so much you can do to improve that. And we do encourage people to donate different things, but still, you don't get fresh fruits and vegetables, you don't get fresh protein. So that's really part of the problem. But also, there's 40 MPPs in the province who have signed on to say that they agree that social assistance rates need to be raised. So so far, at least 40 MPPs have agreed that we need to do this. So there is momentum, I think, building, and certainly the STOPS program that they have begun has really brought that to light, I think.
But do you think it's actually going to happen though? I mean, the McGuinty government will tell you they've got a $19 billion
Yep.
deficit, and that's their number one concern, and also job creation.
Yep.
Do you actually think that they're going to increase the rates?
We think that when we raise this with people in the province of Ontario, people's sense of fairness will kick in. It's a gut instinct to understand that when you're providing $4.6 billion to corporations, by goodness, you could cancel that and put some money into people's pockets so that they can put money into the local economy and feed their families and themselves.
Food banks were created as an emergency response to people who were going to starve. Well, I mean, they had no food. They were church and other organizations' response in an immediate crisis issue. They weren't intended to be perpetuated. The fact that they have been perpetuated, I think, is a blight. It's not a good thing. It's a blight. And the fact that they are supported by a very small percentage of the population is also an issue, because the issue of food is a basic human and societal need that the whole society needs to provide for, not just a few individuals who feel so motivated.
How do you feel about the cancellation? I mean, the special diet was canceled. There's supposed to be something coming to replace it, and there's nothing yet.
So that is what they're reviewing right now, and that is what we are pushing for, and that's why we're here today, to up the ante a bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's
That's
a showing, right?
It's the question we were asking, what's taking so long? Thank you.
They removed an allowance for people to go back to school for clothing for kids for the winter last year, saying they were going to redeploy those resources. In fact, it was a shell game. We're worried that the same thing will happen here. It's enough time for study has happened. Action's required now.
Other questions? Thank you very much. I appreciate your attention and you coming here today, and thank you to all of the panelists who took part. Have a good day.
Thank you.